Hello my lovelies, it's me and my shaky cam. I'm afraid I haven't worked out how to record on my laptop yet, so and I haven't got anything to rest my phone on, so I'm resting it on my knee. Behind me is a little collage I've made, which is going to be my backdrop from now on, until I can afford a green screen. This is a piece of artwork made up of all my scripts, so enjoy reading that, and if you can, on high resolution, find out all the lovely side effects of everything that I'm taking. It's all fun, isn't it? Now, what I'm going to talk about in this video, it might seem trifling to some people. It might not affect people who are not in this minority, and it might not matter what happens in the realms of abuse, death, just generally being treated like second-class citizens. I'm talking about people with autism. Now, as a person who is, oh, excuse me, my voice is breaking. I think I reached puberty. As a person who's oh God, it's not easy to say. I can't word. Neurodiverse, right? Thank you. With ADHD and on the autistic spectrum myself, I am really, really, really distressed about the way that autism is being used on the internet for people's entertainment and gratification. Not so long ago, we had the TikTok trend making fun of autistic people. And then it's come to light about Mika Schaffer and her adopted autistic son, who she's kind of decided to give away for all intents and purposes because he's just not pulling in the clicks or not fitting into her lifestyle, or I'm not quite sure what it is. I'm very grateful that I've got a husband who doesn't want to kick me out of the house, frankly, for not behaving in a you know, a stable way. My mum and dad, yeah, they had problems with me. Let's say that for nothing. I don't know where I got my neurodevelopmental disorder from, whether it's genetic, because my dad's a bit bonkers as well, or because my mum had a bad pregnancy, or because I was unplanned and maybe she was like partying and you know, and didn't know she was pregnant, or whatever it was. Oh, excuse me. But I, for good or ill, grew up with my biological parents as far as I know. Now, that does sound a bit odd, but for the first few years of my life, I was a ward of court. Nobody would quite tell me what was going on. And I think that's what really upsets me the most about poor Huxley's situation, is that he's been shoved from pillar to post. He hasn't got any sense of stability. Is anyone going to tell him of the truth when he's older? What happened to him? Or are they going to be too ashamed? Because I am like, I'm going to be 50 this year. It's June now. I'm going to be 50 in November. My mum, who's quite a defensive person and who's now been diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's, is never going to tell me the exact truth of the first few years of how I grew up. And I had a different name on my birth certificate, and she showed me that. At one point, I was Amanda Stevens. Then, when my mum and dad got married, when I was three and a half, then I was Amanda Dawson. That's just my dad's name. And then I got married, and now I'm Amanda Cox. I've never liked being called Amanda. I always wanted to be called something gender neutral ever since I was a kid. I wanted to be called something like Sam. I love the name Sam, or you know. Anyway, that's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is there are people behind the headlines. There are people who are hurting for your amusement. I hope you're pleased. If you are pleased, then kindly F off out of it and, you know, don't listen to me ranting on, because, you know, you don't care. You have no soul. You have no heart. You know, I've dealt with people like you, and frankly, you can just all yeet, or whatever it is the saying. But for those of you who do care, please spread the word that autism is not for people's gratification or entertainment any more than, you know, being black or being gay or being trans or being anything else that you can't help the way you were born. It is not a tool for entertainment. It is not a tool for people taking the piss. It is not a tool for adopting an exotic baby for clout. It is not a tool for putting your kids on the internet to sort of titillate somebody's God knows what. I mean, it's kind of like in the Victorian times when people used to go to asylums for entertainment. And I thought we'd moved on from that. But it doesn't look like we have, because you've got reality TV shows, you've got family vloggers, you've got people on TikTok, and God knows what else is going on. And I really just, I want to see an end to it, because it's just not funny. It's just not funny, because there are people behind the headlines who, you know, you might think that they're stupid and they might think that they're incapable of feeling, but they're not. I can guarantee you that. That little boy who, he might be non-verbal now, but there's plenty of people with autism who were non-verbal when they were little kids and grew up to be perfectly sane, rational, and rational, competent adults, probably more competent than I am, to be honest. I've spoken to lots of people on the autistic spectrum, and a lot of them have said, yeah, I was non-verbal, yeah, I was incontinent for a while, yeah, I couldn't read or write for ages, or whatever it was. I mean, I was a slow developer as well. I mean, I couldn't tell the time for ages. I still can't do maths to save my life, and there's just parts of my brain that just don't work properly. And I'm still coming to terms with that. It's not easy, and to think you can mock people and use them for your entertainment like that when they're already suffering, and they're going to be suffering for the rest of their lives while you've moved on to the next trend or whatever's fashionable. No, you can't do that. We are not a commodity. We are not there for your entertainment, titillation. You know, we are so not there for your entertainment. I can't stress that enough. I am so sick of seeing autistic people being exploited for clout and being made fun of and just treated like second-class citizens. Because, you know, we're not going to get out and riot in the streets. We don't have anyone, you know, protesting for us. We just don't matter, because we're not trendy. We're not fashionable. We can get exploited. We can get abused, and we can even die or kill ourselves because the system fails us. And, you know, I went through this when myself, I was at the end of my tether. I was at the end of my tether last year when I was fighting to get my personal independence payment, and I just couldn't cope, and I made plans. I didn't follow them through. Thankfully, I had people to keep me going. Sorry, this is turning a bit of a cry fest. I'm sorry about that. But we are people with feelings, and we are not. You know, we can't switch it off. We're not putting on an act. This isn't an act. This isn't for your entertainment. She says, talking on social media like, well, if you're not here for our entertainment, what are you doing here? Commentary? Journalism? Just saying what I want? I don't know. If you find this entertaining, fine. You want to comment on it, fine. You want to blast me, fine. You want to be a nice person, subscribe, because, boy, I could really do with that. I've only got 21 subscribers, and they're all lovely, by the way. Thank you so much. Yeah, and I'm going to be having an Etsy store soon. I'm in a really weird place at the moment because of lockdown. I've just gone into sort of like flatline mode of just making shit. And I'm not, like, my husband said, what are you going to do with all these things that you're making? I said, well, I'm going to have to find somewhere to sell them soon, aren't I? because there's like my inventory, as you might put it, is actually taking up the entire house now, and it's getting really stupid, to be frank. So yeah, I will be having an Etsy store, or you can on Facebook, if you're on Facebook, look up Nope Crafts, and it's called Nope Crafts for a reason, because I like when I sew things, they all look a little bit nope, a little bit wrong, a little bit creepypasta, a little bit like those puppets that people remember from the 70s and 80s. I don't think that's intentional. I think it's just because my sewing is really, really, really bad, and I don't like follow instructions very well. I just kind of make shit up as I go along. So yeah, if you want to support me, follow me on Nope Crafts on Facebook. I've got an Instagram, ACC Artist. I will have an Etsy soon. I can't remember what my Patreon is, but when I get a few more subs, I shall make sure to keep that going. But please, in the meantime, spread the word that autistic people are real people, and we are not robots, we are not toys, we are not something to get rid of. We are real people. We live through adulthood. We have to bear every single bit of humiliation and slight and degradation that's piled up on us years after years after years. So if you know anyone like that, please be patient, be kind. Don't make fun of them, because they're not stupid. It doesn't bounce off us, it sinks in, and we've got to put up with that for the rest of our lives. And every time I see some trend on the internet about autism or autistic people or autistic children, kids who are going through ABA, which is really, really horrible and troubling and tantamount to child abuse, in my opinion. Comment below if you don't agree with me, fine, okay. But yeah, I mean, it's like we're either going to be moulded into what society deems normal, or we're going to be used as zoo animals and exhibits and freak show. And please, would you like that done to you? Would you like that done to your children if you've got children? If you do, then there is something seriously wrong with you that's worse than autism, and worse than ADHD, and worse than anything I can think of. I'm not going to diagnose you, but, you know, you might want to check out, I don't know, narcissism, antisocial personality disorder, psychopathy, sociopathy, all those things that are far more damaging to society than just being autistic. Have a think about that. Have a little think about that. Just have a think. In the meantime, we autistic people are going to struggle on with our sensory problems, with what are we going to call this euphemistically? The lurgy, the big lurgy. Some of my autistic friends have expressed a little bit of worry that they can't wear masks because they feel like somebody's choking them and things like that. So yeah, just bear that in mind. It's not fun. It's really not fun. Being on the autistic spectrum, whether you're young or old or a baby or anything, it's not fun. And a lot of you people out there are making it a shit ton worse. So if you find anyone exploiting or being cruel to autistic people or any disabled people or any minority in general, and you know, you can count this under minorities, you can count this under protected characteristics or whatever you like. If you find someone being cruel, nasty, disrespectful and disgusting to autistic people, please show them up. Say something. Make it fashionable. Make it public. We're all people, you know, black, white, red, yellow, green, blue, neurodiverse, gay, straight, trans, whatever. We're all people and we all hurt. And I implore you, if you see something that's hurtful, disrespectful and shaming, call it out. Call it out. even if it's a group of people that you don't think are particularly important, that you don't think you've got a connection to. Like, I mean, I am really, really sad about the way black people are being treated, even though I'm not black. All I'm asking you is to extend the same courtesy towards other minorities who haven't got a voice for them. And you're not going to see many autistic people writing in the streets because, frankly, we're just too terrified of being outside in public at the best of times. Never mind having a pandemic. So, you know, we need people to speak up for us. Huxley needs someone to speak up for him. Okay? He's so small and he's so vulnerable, and so many things can happen to him that are going to hurt him for the rest of his life. And I worry about people like that. I worry about people in institutions. I worry about autistic kids that are locked up in hospital and being fed through slots in the door, or misdiagnosed with schizophrenia, or fed loads of drugs and things like that. That go and read up on it, because it's absolutely shocking. Really, it is. Really, it is. And people die, and it's not funny. So, yeah, the world is on fire, but some of us are smouldering to death, and nobody's paying attention. So, you can honour more than one cause at the same time, okay? The human brain is capable of thinking of more than one thing at a time. You don't have to say, oh, I don't care about autistic people, I'm going to do Black Lives Matter, or I don't care about Black Lives Matter, I'm going to, take care of my neighbours. No, it doesn't work like that. I'm not saying that you should take on every cause that you can. I'm just saying that, bear in mind, the human brain is capable about caring about more than one social justice issue. And just think about that. Think about that, please, because, a lot of people suffer throughout the world who don't have privileges, and disabled people are one of those groups. And that's all I'm going to say on this matter. As you can see, I've got a lovely golden tan because I've been out in the garden, and I've got me lockdown haircut that is so bad. It's so bad. Look at this. It's like there's a really short bit there and there's a really long bit there, and yeah, what am I going to do? So anyway, goodbye for now. Look after yourselves. Be alert. Be aware, and just don't be hateful. And I think that's probably all I can say until next time. Bye.